Hey folks, it's John Knutson here with Reviews with John, and today I want to do a response review to a request from a guy named MKBHD who did a review of this set of headphones a couple of years ago now, but they are still very relevant, and so this is my look and outtake a couple of years later on a good set of headphones by Audio-Technica. Okay, so recently I purchased a set of headphones called the ATH-M50s, and in particular the S model. And all that stands for is the straight cable model. And there have been newer models of this headphones like the M50X that has come out recently, different color, a little bit different options that go along with it, but essentially it's the same design for the headphone than it has been for years. And so they did not try and fix what wasn't broken, and instead they just went with a sure thing. And in this case, Audio-Technica, I believe, got it right. Now the headphones come in a nice little case, a nice kind of leathery feel. I can't confirm that whether or not that is actually what it is, but the headphones fit inside the case, nice and simple. Have a nice brand logo there on the top, Audio-Technica. And in general, they are really nice headphones. My overall impressions, if you were just to ask me straight out of the gates, yes, I'd recommend these. They run for about $140, $150, but they are great headphones, especially for listening to music, for working long periods of time at a desk, or if you do somewhat of what I do, video editing, audio recording. These headphones are great for monitor use when you really need to hear everything that's happening inside the video clip or the audio that you're trying to edit. So highly recommend these within the $200 price point. They behave and sound, I believe, as good as some of the other leading brands out there. One of the biggest controversies is the battle against the Beats headphones by Dr. Dre. When you're purchasing Beats, I will echo what a lot of people have said. You're purchasing kind of the look as well as the headphone, and so perhaps the quality of the actual sound is not comparable to maybe the M50s, but you're purchasing mostly a fashion statement, and so you're paying for a specific brand, much like if you were buying Nike shoes, you're paying for a logo. And so same thing goes here. Audio-Technica has been known as the cheaper brand over years, but in this case I believe that they got it right. These headphones are 100% worth the price. I found them on Amazon. They are a really nice build, fairly high quality, but the important pieces is that this portion that rests against your ears is very comfortable over long periods of time, as well as the padding that's actually on the headrest. It doesn't irritate your head. I actually have a very sensitive skull when it comes to resting things for long periods of time, and I rarely have to reposition these over several hours of listening to music and video editing and that sort of thing. The other beautiful thing is that these are adjustable, and you can have a very large head or a very small cranium, and they will accommodate most all head sizes, and so that has been really nice, fully adjustable. I do notice that over some time, this isn't really a con, but over some time they tend to go up a little bit with the weight of the actual headphones as it's resting on your head, and all you have to do is really just tighten that up, and then they sit higher up on your head and they don't rest and pull on your ears quite as much. So that's one side note, but that is a very small problem for the quality that you get. Now, like I said, the S is for straight, and that is just because it is a straight cable. It's actually a very long cable, which is good and bad. It can be kind of a nuisance if you're sitting in a chair and the cable's resting on the floor and you're rolling around. That can be a problem, but it is nice when you have to run this through a jacket or something like that. There's no questions about whether or not this is going to reach. One of the other nice features is the high quality build on the actual jack itself. with the kind of the spring-loaded protection on the cable where it goes into the jack. That's a nice additional quality. There is another little extender that goes on here that turns this into a 1/4 inch plug, and that is nice when you are dealing with kind of some heavier or more expensive pieces of equipment that you need to plug into a soundboard, for example. That is a great feature, but for the most part, I just use the standard headphone jack on my computers and on my recording equipment that I have. So there are some newer variations of this set of headphones. Again, they didn't change the quality of the product, but there are some different color options when it comes to the M50s and the M50Xs. There is also on the M50X, which is about $20 more. They give you 3 different types of cables. One is a short cable, one is a coiled cable, and one is a long cable, which would be nice. They are obviously then interchangeable, because depending if you're sitting at a table and you don't need a long cable, you can just plug in the short one and have it at your desk. Whereas this M50, the older model, only has one length, and you can order it in the coiled option or in the straight. And me personally, I like the straight, but there are a lot of reviews online that say that the coiled is such a great feature, and that it keeps the cord out of the way, but it still can allow up to a fair distance from your device that you can move around. One of the things I really like about the straight cable is, as long as it's not tangled at all, I can walk a fair distance across my office or across a room and not worry about having to, the headphones pulling or me pulling the cable out of the jack. I also notice that when I play games like on my Xbox 360, I only need really one extension cord of about 3 or 4 feet, and I can sit all the way on the other side of the room on my couch to use these headphones. High quality, like I said, great response in terms of frequency, which I'll get to in just a second, and great sound quality. So like I said, I want to mention something about the sound quality. It's hard to really show you what sound quality is like, and there are lots of reviews online of people listening to music and having a great time, but essentially the response is very flat. And if you know what that is basically means it's very even between the higher end and the lower ends. I find that the bass is extremely responsive, that it's even, it's not overkill. They didn't try and do like what Beats do, where they up the highs and they up the lows, and they kind of leave the mids out. This is a very flat range. There's no alterations, but the response in the speakers is very high quality, and I would always, hands down, recommend these over other headphones. Now, I come from a background of music and singing live on stage, and we use Shure in-ear monitors. They run about $100 online. Really nice sound isolating. I'm used to that feel where they stick in your ears and it cancels out the noise volume. These are not noise canceling. They don't have that sort of response, but I think that the sound quality is better in a lot of respects when you're actually listening to music or playing games or trying to do video editing or sound alterations. You can really pick up a lot of what is going on in and around the environment. And so, like I said, gaming is a different world when you use a set of headphones over just using a 5.1 stereo sound or TV sound. You can quite clearly hear where where sounds are coming from, how the game was designed to be heard, and that is a great quality of these headphones. Sometimes I have to even take my headphones off because I think that the sound is coming from somewhere else, but indeed it's coming from a game. And in particular, I think of games like Modern Warfare, Halo, and Assassin's Creed. Those games are games that I have firsthand experience of hearing things in an environment that is strictly almost 2D, but the sound quality of the speakers is high enough to actually differentiate a sound coming from behind you or in front of you. Alright, so that's it for me. I definitely recommend the M50s in any model. I kind of went with a cheaper model, but the quality is still the same. Feel free to like the video or leave a comment if you have any questions, or if I didn't review something, I'll be happy to answer it there. In the meantime, I'll check you out on the next one. Take it easy.